Hello, my dear students. I hope that you can hear me well. So if you can see the screen, if you can see the Excel window, if you can hear me, please write something in the chat so that I know that you can do all of the mentioned before. Very good. So I'm glad to see you today. Today we continue working with Excel, and we will start working with more function. We will find out how to set the function, how to find functions, and how to use them for proficient work. Okay, so you remember last time we discussed the simplest, the most basic formulas, like multiplication, adding, division, and so on and so forth. So there was nothing, absolutely nothing difficult. So we also learned how to fix the values, how to fix cells. You remember we did this with the dollar sign, for example, in this way, in this example above. So this was not very difficult. That is why we go on learning the functions of Excel. So these were the basics. And actually, if we speak about the proficient functions, if we speak about the functions in general, so most of the functions in Excel, they have names. And there are actually a lot of functions in Excel, and you're not supposed to learn all of them, actually. What you need to know is how to solve the tasks using the basic functions that you know, and you just need to be able to find the functions when you need them. That is why what we are going to learn somehow maybe 20, 25 most important functions that are used in everyday life. And this would be enough for us to work with Excel on a proficient level, actually. So how to work with functions, how to find them. So you can find all the formulas on the... Oh, I have everything in Russian. 1 second. That is absolutely not the problem. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now we have everything in English. So where do we find the functions? So functions or formulas can be found on the Formulas tab in Excel, and you can see that there are plenty of them. They have different categories, and you can find all the functions below these categories as a drop-down menu. So we will start working with the basic functions, with the basic formulas, and the basic formulas are placed at the tab which is called AutoSum. These are the basic ones. What we need to know is that there are several ways to create a formula. So first of all, you remember that we can just, for example, salary, we can just select everything, and down below you will see the average, the number of values, and the sum of all the values. This is actually sometimes enough, but this is not very comfortable because we will not be able to store these values anywhere, because once we click outside the table, the values do disappear. That is why what we can do, we can go to Formulas tab, go to AutoSum, and take the sum formula. We put it here. You see everything is checked automatically for us, and we press enter. And this is the result that we get. We can compare it with the result which we got at the bottom right section, and it is absolutely the same result. By the way, Excel can automatically drag everything down or drag everything to the right or to the left and count the formulas automatically. But one of the best options is to know how to write the formulas. And by the way, in order to write the formulas, in order to start a formula, you just need press equal sign and then start writing the name of the formula. In our case, if we want to sum something up, we just start writing sum. And you see that there is a drop-down menu that gives us hint about what function we can use. We will use the sum function and select all the range that we would like to sum. Press enter and we have the result. Nothing difficult. But what if we would like to find the average salary of our employees? So finding an average salary is not a big deal as well. So what we need to have is just a knowledge about what average formula looks like. Let's look at AutoSum, and we have average. And that is why just instead of these, press equal sign and start writing average. Average. Double click and check everything. That's it. That is the average value. And yes, it is absolutely the same as down there. So, if we want to find the minimal or the maximum salary, we will do this the same very way. We just press equal. We want to find minimum value, right? With min, we have 10, and if we want to have maximum, and we go with salary. So the minimum and the maximum. Nothing, absolutely nothing difficult. So this is the basic way to use the AutoSum functions. Of course, we can have count numbers, and that means that we will just count the number of values that we have. We use a function which is called count and check everything, and we have 15 values. If we check it, yep, we have 15 values as well. So these are the basic formulas of Excel, like sum, average, count, maximum, and minimum. Do you have any questions about the basic formulas? No questions. Okay, so let's go on working with the formulas. If you remember, and I hope you remember, because it was not a long time ago, when we start entering the formula, there is a drop down with a hint about what formulas we can write according to our input. And when we open the brackets, we have a hint of how we can use this formula, what we need in order to work with this formula. For example, here we need number 1, number 2, and so on and so forth. However, we can get much more information about the formulas and how to work with them, especially if we do know possibly nothing about the formula. It is not a big deal. You can just use the manager of function or the master of functions, and in order to add or to open the master of functions, just go up there and near the place where you write the formula, you find fx button, insert function button. If you press it, you will have the formula builder. The formula builder looks the following way. It helps you to build formulas. It is extremely helpful when you start learning formulas, if you have little knowledge about formulas, or if your formulas are getting more difficult, more complicated. And you see, we have the result of syntax, what we need to do with this formula, etc. We can press done, or we can return to other functions, and we will be able to see what functions we do have. We can look for the function, for example, in our case, average. Yep. And we can get help on this function. So this is the basic help, and we can get more help. Windows has a great knowledge base about Excel, and each formula is explained very good at their knowledge base. So you can see what we can have. We can have different modes, and we can have the examples here so that we know how to use these formulas. Nothing difficult. So if you need more help, you can find more information about this function with help of Microsoft Help page, or let's say that it is a knowledge center. Okay, let's close this up. Nothing difficult. So let's see what we do have on maximum value. Max, yep, here it is. We want to select, yep, this is it, and you see that we already get the result here. If we press done, the formula enters automatically. So nothing difficult. Actually, you can see that there may be a lot of arguments of this function. For example, the number 2 may be expressed by the total sum. And maybe there is number 3, which is going to be expressed by the bonus. Thank you very much. Okay, number 2 is going to be total. Number 3 is going to be bonus, like this. And we will get the average value as well. So we can have a lot of coefficients of our formula. So that is why we have 3 ways of entering the formula. The first one is, yep, we just use the formulas tab. We try to find the formula and we use it. The second one is to enter the formula manually. And the third one is to enter the formula with help of formula builder. So this is the 3 options of building a formula. So one more thing that we need to know about the formulas is how to copy them. What if we want to copy our salary, like our average salary? Let's just, we have a complex formula here. Let's have sum What if we want to copy this value somewhere else in the worksheet? Just copy and paste. And you see that we have a mistake there. Why? Well, the problem is that when we move the formula, and when the cells are not fixed, we will have a mistake because the cells are going to move. That is why you can just enter, like copy the value, Command C, and paste it, but you can pass the values only. This way you will be able to pass the values of the formula. But if you want to copy the formula exactly, just press Command C or Control C and then Command V or Control V, like this. So you will see that the sum is exactly like that. Okay, so this is not very difficult. Absolutely not. Let's delete all the rubbish information. This way is much better. Okay. Do you have any questions about what we can do with our formulas? Yes, no questions. Okay. So if you have no questions, we'll go on with the information. We'll go on with the lecture. So now we're going to learn formulas that are actually very important ones. One of these formulas is often asked during job interviews because it is a professional formula, and you need to know how to use it. So, how to work with this formula? We have lecture 2. Let's just make a little like this. So let's create a new table. We have a company, we have the employees, and I suppose that we're probably going to take this table. Let's just copy it, because why not? We just copy them and we paste them. Very good. We do not actually need the total USD tab. No fill. We do not need this as well. Salary per day. Okay, maybe we would like to have something like this. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We want to have a new payment system. We want to have a new payment system. Let's have 100 maybe. Yes. We want to have a new payment system according to the job positions. That is why we create a table where we are going to have all the job positions and all the salaries that are going to be set in respect to job positions. So let's copy all the job positions. Let's copy this part of the table and we'll put it, I don't know, let's put it there. We have job position and salary. Right now we do not have the salaries. We do not have them there. We do not have them being set. And let's remove the duplicates of the job positions. We just select it, data, remove duplicates, continue with the current selection. Yep, very good. Okay, so we have director, head of the department, manager, secretary, intern, security, and driver. Very good. So now let's assign some salaries. So this one, let's go to home. Director is going to have $55,000. Head of the department is going to have $40,000. Manager is going to have $32,500. Secretary is going to have $15,000. Intern is going to have $12,000. Security is going to have, let's say, $10,000. And driver is going to have $20,000. Something like this. Now, what we would like to have is, we would like to put these salaries in accordance with this table and in accordance with the job positions. So we want to say that it is a director, that is why the salary should be $55,000. It is head of the department, the salary should be $40,000, and so on and so forth. So, what are we going to use? What is the formula that we are going to use? And actually the formula that we need is called HLOOKUP, or like not HLOOKUP, it's going to be VLOOKUP. HLOOKUP is her kind of formula sister, let's say so. So we need the formula which is called VLOOKUP or vertical lookup. So what does it mean? We do not have the salaries. We press equal sign and let's go to the function builder and we will look for the lookup. So it is looking like this, VLOOKUP. So what is the lookup value? The lookup value is the job position that we're going to look through. So we're going to see the job positions and compare them to the job positions here. So we'll go with director. Table array is the table array that contains the table with the values that we will take, like this, and we need to fix it so that when we drag it down, no values are missed. We just press F4 and the range is fixed. Column index number is the column in this table from which we are going to take the numbers, and it is salary column, and the number of this column is 2. That is why we have 2 there. And finally, range lookup. In this case, we will just write 0 You will not know why yet, but you will understand it a little bit later. Now we need 0. We press enter, and we have 55,000 rubles for director. So we can drag it down, and you see all the values are going to be set in accordance with the table that we have here. So this is how we work with the vertical lookup or VLOOKUP formula. What if we change the numbers? For example, 40,000 rubles or $40,000, we will change to, I don't know, $42,000. You see all the values changed respectively. Nothing difficult. So now we worked with the vertical lookup function, which uses no range lookup, which uses 0 in the end, like range lookup is false. Now we will try the vertical lookup function, which uses range lookup, where range lookup is going to be true. It is going to be 1. So let's create a new table. So let's imagine that in our company we have a lot of clients, kind of, and actually we have a discount program that gives a certain amount of discount based on the total money spent by the customer. Let's create a new table. We are going to have name of clients, client's name, sum or order amount, and discount. Let's make it bold. Let's make a beautiful header. And let's have some customers from there. We'll just take the values only. We have different order amounts. We have discounts. Okay, so what are the order amounts going to be? Let's have 5 or 50,000 rubles or dollars. 150, then 99. Then we're going to have 499, 500, then something like this. Okay, so we have different order amounts. And now we will need to set the discounts in accordance with the order amounts. So let's create a new table. We will have the order amount start, and we're going to have discount. So when the order amount starts with 0, the discount is going to be 0%. Then the order amount is $100,000. We're going to have 3%. Then we have 500 is 5%. 5%. Then we're going to have 1 million is 10%, and 5 million is 15%. Something like this. So now we need to put these values there in accordance with the money. So let's start entering the VLOOKUP formula. The lookup value is the order amount. Table array is this table right here. Do not forget to fix it. Then column index number is going to be 2, of course. And finally, range lookup. Let's set it as 0 right now. Press enter. And you will see that we have only one value. Let's set it to %, of course. We have only one value correct. And pay attention that we have one value correct only when there is exact sum of money. Exact sum of money. If we do not have the exact sum of money, if the values are different, we will not be able to get a discount at all. This means that we need a thing which is called range lookup. So range lookup, as we can see, is a logical value that allows us to find the closest match to the table. So imagine that we have different ranges from 0 to $100,000, from $100,000 to $500,000, and so on. So this is how we work with this range lookup feature. So instead of 0, we will put 1, and we will drag everything down. And now you can see that we have different discounts. And pay attention that when there is 99,000 but not 100,000, we will have 0% discount. Even if we have something like this, oh yeah, too much. Yeah, we will have 0% discount as well. So this is how we do the vertical lookup with the range lookup function. So we will use range lookup when we do not need the exact match, but when we need the matching any interval or any range in the values of another table. Is it clear? Do you have any questions about vertical lookup and vertical lookup with range lookup? Clear. Very good. Okay, let's go on. I have already mentioned that vertical lookup has something is not clear. Okay. I have already mentioned that vertical lookup has a sister formula. So what this formula is about, it is absolutely the same as the vertical lookup, but its title is HLOOKUP or horizontal lookup. What is it actually about? Actually, the main difference between them is the way they work. So you will now understand what I mean. So let's create a new table like this. And we will create a table which is not going to have the headers there, but the headers will be represented in the rows. So we will have order ID, then we're going to have order date, then order amount, and client's name. Okay, like this. Make it bold and beautiful. Yeah, very good. Okay, let's fill it in. So if we will speak about the order date, I suppose that this is enough to start with the April. I'll go there. By today, this is enough. Order ID is going to be fill series, very good. Order amount, let's have 15,000, 25,000, 14,500, 950, 8,000, 650, then 17, and finally 25. Oh, let's have 450. And client's name, let's have some names. Some of them. So now I want to pass them this way. I can actually transpose them, just pressing the right click button. We can pass special and we can transpose them. So this way. What we would like to have, actually, we have a task of finding the names of the clients in accordance with the order ID. So of course, we have a small table here. It is very easy to find the name according to the order ID. But what if the table is very big? Too big to find the needed values. Let's create a new table, which is going to look like the order ID and client's name. Like this. Okay, what we need to know, we want to have 3, 1, 6, 5, and 2. So how to use it? If we work with the vertical lookup, we will not be able to see the results because vertical lookups works with vertical tables. It works with vertical tables only. But if we want the horizontal data to be extracted, we will need the HLOOKUP function. Let's go to functions and search for HLOOKUP. Here it is. We have HLOOKUP. The lookup value is going to be order ID. Table array is going to be looking like this. If we have order ID, we need the client's name. It's the first and the fourth row, so we put 4, because the fourth row is the client's name, and range lookup is 0 because we need exact values. We press enter. You see I have a mistake, and this is due to the fact that I did not fix the table array. That is why do not forget to fix them. Let's fix it. Press enter and autofill everything. So now, with help of horizontal lookup, we are able to fill all the values with a horizontal table, with help of horizontal table. So is HLOOKUP, is horizontal lookup formula clear to you? Clear. Very good. Very good. Okay, now we will go on with the next functions. So now we will speak about the function which is called if. If is a logical function which allows us to show different values in respect to different conditions. So in case we have the conditional situation, we are able to show, present, or do different operations in accordance with these conditions being true or false. So that means that we have different options of our function or our formula functioning depending on the factors that we specified in the formula. For example, let's create a new table. To 200. So we have a table with a specification of how many hours our employees worked. Okay, so what we need to know. Let us have the table name. Then we're going to have hours of work and bonus, like this. Let's have it in orange, and let's take the names from this very table. We need the values only. Very good. By the way, let's change the colors of the lectures so that I can share the information and everything would be much clearer. So hours of work. Let's add different hours. For example, 175, 40, 67, 100, then 125, 256, then 140, 178, 20, 10, 161, 160, 132, 100, and 98. Okay, what are we going to do? We want to set the bonus depending on the hours of work. If the number of hours of work is more than 160, the bonus is going to be greater. If the hours of work is less than 160, the bonus is going to be lesser. So let's go to the bonus cell where we're going to start writing our formula. Start with equal sign, and we will use the function which is called if. Let's start writing it. We have if, and we have three types of value there. Logical test, this is our condition, value if true, and value if false. So in our case, we are going to look through the following conditions. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay, so let's go on. We've got the condition. Yep, let's return to formula builder. So logical test. If hours of work, go to logical test, hours of work more than 160, well, what is the problem? If hours of work more than 160, value if true, we're going to have the bonus of $15,000, and if false, we're going the bonus of $10,000. Press enter, and now we have all the bonuses in accordance with the hours of work. So nothing difficult. We have all the values and we have the if function. Nothing difficult. So if function is one of the basic ones. We will have more complex versions of the if function, but they're going to be in the following lectures, or maybe in the following parts of the lectures. Let's go on. Now we need to work with the text formulas. Let's create a new table. And let's create the column which is called name. It is enough about the name right now. Name, and we will start entering some names. But because of a mistake we will have, or because of a lot of mistakes, we are going to have extra spaces, and instead of capitals we are going to have small letters. For example, we are going to have space, 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 Maria, space, 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 Fando, space, space, then Peter Roberts, then John Eva Evans, let's say like this, then Julia Marcus, and Federica, Ola, like this. So we have a lot of names, like 5 of them, with mistakes, and we need to overcome them with help of Excel functions, and we will use text functions in this case. So first of all, what we can do, we can use the formula which allows us to make or to cut out the extra spaces. So this formula is going to be called trim. Okay, so the first function is called trim. Can you hear me right now? I hope yes. Okay, let's call the new header as trim. And we will use the trim formula. Let's go there, let's go find it, trim, and we just need this name. Press enter. and drag it down. Yeah, great that it's okay now. Very good. So we do not have the excess spaces. This is very good. But we need to go on with the formulas and make our names correct. So the next formula that we are going to use is called proper. It allows us to get the small letters into capital when they are in the beginning of the words. Let's go to proper. We go with this text, press done, and now all our names are with the capital letters. Okay, so these are the basics of working with the text. But what if we would like to get the last name or the first name only? So for this case, we will use 2 or 3 steps. So if we want to get the name, the first name, like Maria, Peter, or anything else, we will have 2 steps. So first of all, you need to see that the name and the last name are divided by a single space. In order to find the name, we first need to find the space position. How to do this? We will use the formula which is called search. Let's write it right here. And this formula will allow us to find the place, you see search, the number of the character at which a specific character is first found. Let's take search. We want to find a space, let's put it in double quotation marks, within text. Press enter and drag it down. So we have 6, 6, 5, 6, and 9. Then, what we need to find is the name. So to find the name, we will use function which is called left, because we want to find all the characters that are left to the search, like to the space position. Go with left. The text is going to be the name, and number of characters is the number of characters we are going to get from the left of the text. As the space is the 6th character, we need the number of characters to be the search minus 1. Press enter and drag it down. Now we have all the names. Okay, this is it. But how to get the last name of a person? Which numbers? Like the search. So these are space position. So you can see that after the name Maria and Fandom, like name and last name, we have a space between, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the number of the space character. Is this clear? Very good. I'm glad that it is clear. So now we need to find the last name. Of course, we need the space position. Yeah, and we have the function which is called right. But if we get the right position, it will not work with the space position only. Because we will need the length of the text. So in this case, we will need the length of this text and then subtract the space position to find the number of characters that we need to have from the right side of the text. So first we will have the length and length equal to length of the text. Done. And now we will use the formula which is called right. Yep. We need the text and the number of characters is length minus space position. Done. And now we have the last names of our employees, maybe. And if we want to have all the letters capital, we just use the formula which is called upper. Well, let's have all of the names. Like this. So these are the text functions that we can use in Excel. Do you have any questions about the text functions? Okay, I see. So now let's go on learn the formulas. We have a lot of material today. Let's return to our bonuses table. And there we will speak about nested formulas and how to create complex formulas. Complex or nested formulas, it does not actually matter. Let's have a new column. How to do this? Just see in the Home tab we have Insert, Insert Sheet Columns. And let's call it Experience. Let's fill it in with the numbers, maybe 5, 2, 3, 7, 8, 4, 6, 10, 5. like this. So what are we going to do? We are going to specify our conditions. If a person worked more than 160 hours, the bonus is going to be big. If they worked less than 160 hours, everything is going to depend on the experience. If the person has more than 5 years of experience, like greater or equal than 5 years of experience, then the bonus is going to be slightly less than the maximum one. If the experience is less than 5 years, the bonus is going to be the lowest. So let's start completing this task. We will not create a complex formula right from the beginning. You just need to remember that any complex formula is a combination of simple formulas, and you can have the same approach to their creation. So, what can we do? Let's create a new column where we will store our values. Let's have a new column there. We'll have bonus. Let's have bonus by experience. We will delete this bonus, and bonus by experience is empty as well. So let's start writing our function. Of course, we will use if function. And what do we need to have there? If experience is more or equal, is greater or equal to 5 years, you see that if we want to write greater or equal to, we use greater sign and equal sign. If we want to use less, we are going to write it as follows. And if we want to write equal to, we just use an equality sign. If we want to write not equal to, we will use greater and lesser signs, respectively. So in our case, if the experience is more or equal to 5 years, the bonus is going to be $10,000. If it is less, the bonus is going to be $5,000. Press OK and drag it down. And then we return to our bonus section. By the way, we can just type the formula that we had before. If hours of work are more or equal to 160, we will have $50,000, and if we are going to have false, it's going to be $5,000 or something like this. And we put it like this. So now we just need to make these two formulas one formula. That is why we are going to nest them. So what we need? We need to have the formula of the bonus by experience. Let's copy it. And then let's return to the bonus formula there. And we have if hours of work more or equal to 160, we are going to have the bonus equal to $15,000. But if it is not, we start looking at the experience. That is why we can pass the formula to value if false. If experience is more or equal to 5, we're going to have $10,000, and if it is less, we're going to have $5,000. Press done, drag it down, and now we can delete this column at all. So this is called the nested function. You see, if we look at it right here, we have if and if. So one formula inside another formula. And in this case, we are able to leave only the columns that we need, and we just do not need too much formulas and too much columns. Actually, we just can work at one cell using the nested formulas. This is the idea of nested formulas. And by the way, let's just finish up with the logical functions there. A couple of more functions that we may use in our work. We have two more functions within the logical ones that are called and or. We will work in this very table as well. And now we want to make our bonus program more strict. We will give bonuses to those employees only who did work more or greater than 160 hours of work and whose experience is more or equal to 5 years. The other employees are not going to have any bonuses. So let's go to the bonus cell, press equal sign, and we will write their formula probably. But let's first see how to connect two conditions. We need to have the hours of work more than 160 and experience more or equal to 5. Let's have the AND column, and we will use the function which is called AND. And checks whether all the arguments are true. In this case, the first argument is going to be more or equal than 160, and the second one is going to check whether the experience is more or equal to 5. We press done, and we see that we have true and false. And in the bonus, we will write if it is true, we are going to have $15,000, and if it is false, we will have 0. And if we create a nested function, we just copy this thing and we put it here. And now we can delete this column. So this is how we use AND. And what about OR formula? So it is almost the same as AND, but in this case we look where the one of the conditions is true. So in our case, our management became a little bit more kind, a little bit kinder, and decided that we need to have only one condition as true. For example, our employee should work 160 hours or more, or they need to have 5 or more years of experience. In this case, we will use OR function. So we'll just go there and we will change AND to OR. Press enter. And now we have much more bonuses in our company. So these are the AND and OR functions. So, do you have any questions about the logical functions if, and or? And do you have any questions about the nested functions and how to make them? I see no questions. Okay, so you will be able to work through these formulas during the practical classes, during the labs that you're going to complete. Of course, I will share the lecture file on Moodle, on the course page in Moodle. And what you need to remember from today's lecture is that we have the functions that help us to work efficiently with data like horizontal and vertical lookup. We have different logical functions like if, and or. In addition, if we speak about vertical horizontal lookup, we have the range lookup there. Then we are able to work with the text functions. We have plenty of them, and we have, well, great possibilities that we can do with the text functions. And finally, we will get to know all these functions face to face during the practical classes. So if you have any questions, first of all, do not worry, you will be able to work this through. And do not worry one more time, because you are always welcome to answer your questions in the chat in Viber or during the practical classes. By the way, I have already uploaded the link to the lectures recordings on the course page so that you are able to see all the needed information. So, if you do not have any questions, thank you very much for the lecture and see you on the practical class in 10 minutes. Thank you.